the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. On top of the hedonistic delights that the German carmaker's bread and butter saloon provides, this new vehicle is also considered to be one of the smartest. Its driverless operation system called Drive Pilot enables the car to accelerate, brake, change lanes, and even bring itself to a complete standstill. So in the race to build fully automated cars, the question is,
how has the direction of development changed or become more focused?
There is a new direction coming up, which is more the revolutionary approach, where you start from scratch to really be able to drive autonomously in every situation.
Now, the name of the game is bringing the technology that people saw when Google's artificial intelligence AlphaGo defeated Go Grandmaster Lee Se-dol into cars. Given the challenge, major auto manufacturers are striking partnerships with IT giants in Silicon Valley, despite fears that these tie-ups might drag them down to being low-value hardware suppliers in the longer term. Nisroy adds that securing the technology won't be the sole obstacle to driverless cars roaming the streets. So there are a good number of roadblocks ahead, but as technological development speeds up, Nisroy believes the idea of truly self-driving cars becoming commonplace is still in sight.
If you want to really go to a dealership and buy a car and say, with this car, I'm not going to drive anymore, I'm only going to take a ride, this is going to be in 2030 from now.
And by then, it's likely that machine learning and thinking robots may have changed not just the auto sector, but our everyday lives. Hwang Jihye, Business Daily.
And now for an in-depth analysis of the significance of the two Koreas' family reunions, we have Dr. James Kim from the Asan Institute for Policy Studies joining us via Skype.
Thanks for making time for us, James.
Thanks for having me.
One worrisome fact about the reunions is that it will take place between October 20th and the 26th, as we've just seen in Seunghi's report, and that's just 10 days after the North's 70th anniversary of founding of the ruling Workers' Party, and many expect that during that period, Pyongyang could launch a rocket. How much of a concern is there that this could hamper the family reunions? Hello, it's Wednesday, November 2nd here in Seoul. Welcome to our newscast. I'm Hwang Jihye. Local prosecutors are set to file an arrest warrant today for Choi Soon-sil, the woman at the center of a massive political scandal in which she's accused of abusing her close ties with President Park Geun-hye. Prosecutors are focused on arranging evidence linking her to corruption allegations surrounding two cultural foundations, Mir and K-Sports. They're also set to bring in a former senior presidential secretary today. Ji Myung-gil starts us off. It was a bolt out of the blue that few were expecting. The Bank of Korea on Thursday cut its key rate by 1/4 of a percentage point to an unprecedented low of 1.25%. The unanimous decision came as the economy has seen its traditional growth engine exports fall sharply for almost a year and a half.
We believe there are considerable downside risks in the second half of this year. The slowdown in global trade is greater than we had forecast in April, and downward pressure could mount as the government's corporate restructuring gains momentum.
But the top central banker brushed aside speculation that the rate trim is aimed at facilitating the process of corporate restructuring, adding that it was a preemptive move to tackle the low-growth trend. And experts say it would have been now or never for Korea's central bank to cut the rate, as the worse-than-expected U.S. jobs data in May tempered forecasts of a rate hike by the Federal Reserve in June, in return giving leeway for the BOK. Maneuvering the rate against the Fed's interest rate plans has prompted fears of massive capital outflows in emerging markets, and Korea is no exception.
It's a matter of when, but considering the Fed will likely raise its interest rates in the second half of the year, June may have been the appropriate month for Korea's monetary policymakers to go with a rate cut decision.
The governor emphasized, though, a rate cut itself will not put the economy back on track to a solid recovery, and that fiscal policy, as well as structural reforms, should also follow. Concern over further exacerbating household debt is another thorny issue that the central bank will have to confront. Despite the potential negative effects of a lower rate, Governor Lee left the door open for additional cuts, saying all options still remain on the table for possible scenarios ahead. Hwang Jihye, Arirang News.